Liam,
Joseph.
we're talking American Hustle.
We are the hustle in America.
The hustle continues.
Oh yeah. So Joseph,
we're big on the Sigma movies. Am I blocking it? No.
and this one is kind of like dedicated or labeled as one, right?
It is kind of, but this is. I figured this new crop of movies we're going to talk about are all like kind of based on true crime stories, but not like crime murder stories, but like crime, like stealing money, scam stories.
Definitely. Yeah.
Are you like a big fan of like those types of stories?
I always like them. I haven't seen like a good bit of them in a little while. I mean, I always associated them like I'm thinking like Ocean's 11 or 12 or whatever, you know, like that sort of thing. You know? And then this American Hustle, I saw them connect a lot with the Ocean movies. Anyway, that's just the vibe that I got. Just the newer style and kind of the flashy clothes and you know whatnot. Just the way they acted.
Well, yeah, this one. So it is based on it's based on a true story.
Okay.
And we'll get into that.
Okay.
I think a lot of these movies they really pull that, you know, based on a true story as far as they can.
They do. And sometimes that's all right. Sometimes maybe not.
Yeah. So I did some research onto this story, and a lot of it is, you know, fictionalized and
okay.
I think
was there anything crazy that was like taken completely?
So the main story of the film, like which is like this Operation Ab Scam, I think they called it.
Okay.
Which was basically they had like an FBI guy pretend to be a sheik, and then they had this guy who they were going to send to prison, and they were like, all right, we'll work with him to scam all these politicians and get them on record accepting bribes. Mm-hmm. So all that is true, but a lot of the, you know, stuff that happens in the story, like with the mayor, with the girl, like all like the
I'm
drama,
sure that's got to be
was all made up for the film.
Gotcha. And then that was pretty confirmed. Like, I mean, so like was there a whole lot of drama in this situation going on when it was actually happening? Do you know, or
what do you mean by drama? Like,
I don't know. Like, was there any sort of like actionness to it? Like any sort of like romantic drama, like, or did they just have to add all of that?
I think all these like stories, a lot of the stuff is like, because I mean, like FBI agents aren't like out like, you know, just doing like wearing fancy suits and bribing and chasing people with guns. They're just talking to people. That's so
exactly. You know, they can't do all the drugs and that sort of thing. And if they do, they got to hide it from their own police department.
Yeah,
you know, they can't just be willy nilly.
Well, I guess what was your thoughts on the film? Like, if ignoring the fact that it was based on a true story, did you think it was like a good film that held up on itself?
I definitely did, right? I mean, comparatively speaking to other movies, it did a lot better, but it didn't draw me in and keep me there the entire time, you know.
It is like a really complex story and like a lot of characters and
I was probably under the influence at the time too,
probably.
And I was probably trying really hard.
Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, but I got it. Yeah, I don't know. As soon as they started getting to the mayor and the sheik stuff, that's where I started like having to pay attention a little more. You know,
I gotcha. Because
you just get more people.
The movie came out in 2013. I saw it in theaters. I don't know how old are we in 2013? Probably like 8th grade.
Yeah. I was like 13, 12 or 13.
Yeah. So I didn't understand anything that was happening in the movie when I first saw it.
Gotcha.
I just was like, I like Bradley Cooper, I like Christian Bale, and I like the 70s, and it was like, you know, it was a cool looking film.
It was, you know, it was. I did like that era.
Yeah.
Which, you know, growing up, for some reason, I think I was like a little bit brainwashed growing up, Joseph. You know why?
Why is that?
Because
shades are coming out.
Oh, look at that! Bada bing. So like growing up, my family was really against hippies, right?
Yeah.
And the 70s, just like the whole 70s look. For me, my little child brain like connected just 70s in general to hippies.
Yeah.
So no matter what clothes you wore, if they looked 70s, then they looked like you're wearing hippie clothes, right? Even though that wasn't the case. And
So did these characters look like hippies to you?
They did. It brought out some hippie some hippie feelings, in me, and I was like, wow, I'm watching this. Like I just like it's something that I haven't been allowed to feast my eyes on.
I haven't engaged with this culture before.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'd be caught dead right now if any of my family saw this. Oh my god, there's a hippie. Look at that. It was. It was good though. It was a fun movie to watch.
Yeah. What'd you think of the characters? Were you a fan of the character? So there was the Christian Bale character. Mm-hmm. He gained a ton of weight.
I liked him.
He had to shave his head and whatever.
He was a funny character. He was in his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what did you think of him versus the FBI agent? Right.
They're like two alphas clashing, and then you got Amy Adams in the middle of it, and she's just she's the prize for one of them, and
exactly.
The Bradley Cooper character, the FBI guy, he's like a cool, but he's like cocky FBI guy, and he's like he just wants to he's going all in. He's trying to catch these corrupt politicians
any which way.
But then you got a Christian Bale character, and he's quiet. But he knows how to scam someone. That's like his expert. That's why they bring him in, because he's so good at scamming people.
Oh yeah.
And I always liked movies where a guy is like good at scamming, because he's like
because they come up with the movies are always fun to watch, right? Because you don't think of those scams.
Yeah, exactly.
But
he's like coming up with like a plan, and he's like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, and then the big twist at the end that like everything he had set up everything.
Bum, bum,
do you remember that part?
Okay.
It was like the doctor or the lawyer that they went to. That was like an actor friend of his, and he like
it's ringing. It's ringing about
then he like made sure everybody got reduced sentences. And I don't know how much of that was true, but I was like, this guy he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. I mean, because. Well, see, that's where a lot of the drama and stuff for me gets really important, right? Where Amy Adams, her character was really important for the film.
Yeah.
Like she played a pretty big role in terms of hopping back and forth, and then obviously the FBI guy's wife, who just like was fucking things up.
No, that was Christian Bale's wife.
Yeah, what did I say? I don't know.
The FBI guy.
Okay, yeah. No.
No, that was Christian Bale's wife.
Yeah. Christian Bale's wife, his actual wife.
She was very
crazy.
Frustrating.
Exactly, and there's a lot of drama involved there,
There's drama involved there.
I want to know how much like they actually fucked up. Because it was just like people being stupid, or emotional or whatnot.
Well, from the minimal research I did, which I'm not good at doing research.
Neither am I.
The Amy Adams character, she wasn't really involved in the whole process
in the schemes or scams or anything.
She was involved. Like they were romantically involved, and they were doing scams together.
Okay,
but the FBI stuff, she wasn't involved in that.
Okay.
They weren't like taking politicians.
She was more seen as like a side character in the actual story, right?
They weren't like taking politicians to the plaza and like offering them money like that. There wasn't like one FBI guy. It wasn't just like he was like working with the FBI. It wasn't just the one guy who was like leading the mission.
Yeah, I got you. They just did that to simplify things, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. And she wasn't like going back and forth with the FBI guy and with Christian Bale.
So none of that was.
Yeah.
What about his wife? Do you know?
I think he did have a wife, but I don't know how much of. Because I think at the end of the movie, she like ends up getting with one of the gangsters, and.
That's right. Yeah, she was. Yeah, did she just stay with him or something?
Yeah, I think she just stayed with him. Okay. It's been if it seems like we don't remember, it's because it's been a while since we watched this movie.
It has. We're recalling it.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true.
I think I do remember a scene where they're like in a car or something together, right? Yeah. Where it's like it's an Italian guy, right? He's part of the mafia. He's got the mustache, and he's
just like you're looking real mafioso.
We're doing it. We're going to grow it out, Joseph. I'm
the Robert De Niro stuff. I don't know how true that was.
Oh, like
do you know
like what? Like what?
Where he showed up and he was like the casino guy, and they were trying to like smooth him over.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty big part too, right?
Yeah,
I don't. But they could have been just doing that for Flash, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
they get a big name actor.
Yeah, the director David O. Russell. A lot of the people in this movie he worked with, like Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro. I think Jennifer Lawrence and Robert De Niro have been in most of his movies, and Bradley Cooper's been in a bunch of his movies. But yeah, there was some drama around this movie, around the director. Apparently, he was like yelling at Amy Adams, and he was like pushing her and like, you know, being rude. And apparently, at one point, Christian Bale like threatened to beat him up if he like kept on yelling at Amy Adams. And
damn, all right, things get heated. Shit.
And the other stuff has come out about him, about like sexual stuff and
about the director.
Yeah. Okay. So can't speculate, but you know, apparently he's a piece of shit. But he made a good movie.
No doubt. You know, those shitheads, they always make the best movies. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what it is, Joseph? They have the chutzpah. They have what it takes.
Yeah, apparently.
But it's too much. You know, they go over. Oh man, guy. I don't know. I liked it. What did you think of Jennifer Lawrence growing up? You remember when she was like a big thing around like 2012, 2013? Like just for whatever reason, everybody loved her.
She, I never saw any of the Hunger Games. I think we talked about this the other day. How I never saw any of the Hunger Game movies.
I wasn't, or books, right? Like you're just nothing. Hunger Games virgin. Yeah.
Because all those like all the YA they call them, the young adult novels, the Maze Runner, the Hunger Games, Divergent, Harry Potter. Harry Potter like started all of that. Yeah, I was never into like all
Percy
of those.
Jackson and all that.
Percy Jackson, I think I read one of them for school, but I never got into that.
I got you. Yeah,
it was just
I did like the books of the Hunger Games growing up. But, but the movies were meh. But anyway, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Are you a big J Law fan?
I mean, when she was kind of blowing up, you know, I did see the appeal. I was, you know, I wasn't one of those like, oh my god, like she's amazing, you know. But, I don't know. I thought she was pretty hot back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you like, is it star power or was it just you was attracted to her?
It was 100% me being a teenager and seeing her on TV, and
she is. Yeah, she is. I don't think she's like the hottest like actress, but she
definitely not. But you know. She kind of came out with that appeal for a little while, where she was like the first actor that's kind of cool.
She was like the regular girl, but like the cool, like hot, like neighbor. I think.
That's like you'd want to go over and grab a sandwich from or something real quick.
I saw a trailer the other day for a new movie she's in this year. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like these parents and their son, and he's like a loser, and so they hire her to like have sex with him.
Okay, that's ringing a bell.
So looking forward to that one. I don't know when that's coming out, but
that'll be good.
That'll be good. Also, I think the kid is like 17 in the movie, so
no shit.
Yeah, okay. Might be some statutory.
Well, in real life.
No, I think it's a movie. He's like graduating high school, and his parents are like concerned that he's never had sex before, so they're like. They hired Jennifer Lawrence to like have sex with him.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if that's the plot. This is just from what I remember from the trailer.
We do need more early 2000s type movies, to be honest, because I feel like that's an early 2000s type of plot, right?
That's what. Yeah, I've been seeing that online a lot lately. That's interesting that you bring that up because
are other people feeling the same way?
Because there's this new like rom-com that they're making with the girl from Euphoria, Sydney Sweeney.
Okay, my girlfriend wants to watch it and I haven't seen it yet. But
Euphoria or this new
Euphoria.
Okay. Yeah. This new rom-com, everyone's saying like, "Oh, this is going to be like a throwback to early 2000s rom-coms." And they're like, "We need those. Like we need more."
Gotcha. I don't know if we need the rom-coms from it.
Are you not a big rom-com guy? How to Lose a Man in 10 Days.
I feel like the rom-coms were like just
Pretty in Pink, is that a rom-com?
The comedies, right? Like just the straight up comedies. Yeah, though there were some gems in there.
Yeah.
But the rom-coms, I feel like I don't know. When was The Notebook made? I feel like that was before then.
Late 2000s, early 2010. I don't remember when exactly. But that wasn't a rom-com. That was just a straight romance.
Yeah, straight rom.
There was no com.
I feel like they're all overdone. All the rom-com stuff, like from the early 2000s, I feel like they just fit format and they stick to it, and like that's it.
There's always like the girl like leaves her boyfriend to be with this guy who's like the great guy, but then she's like, oh, like fuck this guy, I don't want, and then they break up. Yeah. And then the guy realizes,
it's always a woman torn between like two situations.
And then he runs to her in the rain, and he's like, "I'm sorry that I
should have done that. I don't know what I was thinking.
What sort of 2000s movies do you want to come back?
in a way, I could get down with fuck.
You get jiggy with it?
I could get a little jiggy with what's his name? Who he has the big nose. It almost looks like it's broken. He has like blonde hair.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
I like how I could describe him like that, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah. I liked his humor a lot growing up.
Like Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, like Wedding Crashers, and I feel like Zoolander, like Zoolander type humor. I don't know when that was made, but I feel like that was a little later.
That was around that time.
Okay, gotcha. But like those actors type of humor. You know? Adam Sandler maybe not as much. Adam Sandler, he just got repetitive.
Yeah.
Where I guess it was funny in certain senses, but it just got too repetitive. You know,
Were you a fan of like the Seth Rogen like hot like marijuana movies?
I was, and I kind of just like fell out of it over time.
Yeah, I kind of got sick of those.
Yeah.
We saw a trailer the other day where it's like these 4 Chinese girls and like they go to like visit China and they take a bunch of drugs, and that it's produced by Seth Rogen, and so it looks it's like it looks like every Seth Rogen movie. But it's just Chinese girls this time.
Yeah. He really doesn't mix it up, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't stray too much.
Sad times. Well, you know, I think I liked him in the beginning because he was doing different stuff. Because
it was different, yeah.
And then he just stuck to the same different.
Yeah, everyone started making like Neighbors. That's a Seth Rogen movie.
Or with that same like energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like there's always a scene where like they take a lot of drugs and there's a party.
Bitches.
And then
that's kind of the humor, you know, where it's where you can picture Seth Rogen saying that, like, you know, bitches. You know,
you can picture like a fat guy like taking his shirt off.
Oh yeah,
like there's always like a shirtless fat guy, like, and that's chuckling. Like the joke.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those movies.
Yeah, they get old. They got old. What was the one movie? I don't know. I saw an advertisement there for it the other day. It was called like The End of the World or something like, or this is the end.
That was a Seth Rogen movie.
Was that? Okay.
Where like I'm like pretty sure it was ending, but they're all at a party and they're all taking a bunch of drugs.
Yeah, and they're just like, fuck it.
They're just taking
more drugs.
Yeah,
and then that's kind of where it was left. I feel like where they kind of burned down like most of the neighborhood or something. And
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've thought about that movie.
I don't know. I liked it in the beginning, right? But too much now.
Yeah. Okay, so back to American Hustle.
No doubt.
I think American Hustle. This was 2013. Some of the other movies we're going to talk about, like Wolf of Wall Street and Pain and Gain. Have you seen Pain and Gain?
Pain and Gain. I might have seen Pain.
You're going to see it before we talk about it.
Cool. But let me see. I want to see a picture.
It's Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, and they're like super buff.
Okay. That's jacked out of their minds.
Yeah. That
what do you think about Mark Wahlberg as an actor?
We'll talk about it on the Pain and Gain episode.
Okay.
I have some thoughts on Mark Wahlberg, but
Pain and Gain.
I think this was sort of the era where like these realistic like comedies were kind of taking over. Yeah, that one.
Gotcha.
For the the Seth Rogen like drug comedies, because I feel like every like comedy movie nowadays has like an ironic, like realistic kind of sobered look where it's not just goofy, but like the comedy comes from
a sobered view. Yeah. Like
it's like there's no talking about, right? There's no silly characters. It's like everyone's a straight man, but it's the situation that's like supposed to be funny. Yeah. And the characters like swear a lot, and that's funny.
Exactly.
Like Succession. Have you watched Succession?
I think I have. Yeah.
It's on HBO. I think it's the last season now, but
I think I've only seen a little bit of that.
It's a thing where it's like it's a serious show, but it's a comedy because everybody swears and everybody's like mean to each other.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think around like the early 2010s is like when that sort of shift of everything has to be serious but still funny began.
Gotcha. Yeah, that really makes sense. I didn't really think of it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think every timeline has their
they have their defining film comedy
qualities. But
yeah. Did you think this movie was funny?
We need to change. Wait.
American Hustle.
Oh, American Hustle. Okay, cool. I I remember finding it mildly entertaining in a funny way. Yeah, I thought the characters, the characters themselves,
it's like
were
funny to
interesting
watch them
and
interact with each other, but it's not a funny movie.
Yeah, they're not trying to be funny with it, right?
Yeah,
it's where the characters happen to be a little bit funny.
Yeah,
and I think that's more of their actual personality that they were trying to. Like, I'm sure they actually tried that, right? They probably tried to make their personalities similar to the actual characters, right?
Possibly.
I mean, the FBI guy, maybe not. Because
maybe not.
He wasn't an actual person. But,
yeah, I do think he was kind of stretched a bit too far, where he was like, he was so dedicated to like catching all these people to the point where it's like kind of comical that he's like running through the halls of the FBI building, like yelling and laughing, and he's like. And he thinks he's gonna like make it big because this is like his big case.
Yeah. I love how they just completely glossed over that guy's wife. And
I don't think it was his wife. I think he said it's his fiance.
Yeah, his fiance. Yeah. I was like, damn, that's kind of depressing as shit.
Yeah. But he was so into Amy Adams that he was like...
Yeah. It took me a second to figure that out because I was like, wait a minute, like I feel like they would have made a bigger point about that, but they didn't. They just glossed it over because apparently she's not a big thing in his mind either.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, all the performances were well. This movie was nominated for Best Picture, and I think most of the main cast was nominated for like Best Actors and Actresses.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it paid off. They were all really, really great in the movie.
Definitely.
They all looked the part.
Oh, yeah. Do
you like his curls? I liked his curls in his hair.
Definitely. But both of their haircuts, right? I mean, the FBI agent and what's his name?
Christian Bale.
Yeah. Well, what was his name in the movie? I can't remember.
Fuck. I know it, but it's just... Irving, I think his name was.
That sounds right. Sounds right. I'm so bad with names.
Liam, talk about a physical transformation.
With his haircut there, it was
with his haircut and his body.
What happened to his body? Because I know that he was kind of out of shape. I mean, that's kind of just what
he was out of shape in the movie. But Liam, American Psycho.
I mean, yeah, this is true. Was that his actual weight for that movie? I mean, I guess it probably was.
Yeah, body. Yeah.
Shit. He was a little, yeah. He packed it on.
Yeah,
he packed it on.
He's always like committed to like getting super ripped and then getting super fat and then getting super skinny.
Just the massive flip flops. That's got to be hard on him, right?
Yeah, he like
I don't know how he does it. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
He's Batman. Yeah.
I don't know if I talked about this, if I ever told you about this, but like when I was a kid and I saw Batman Begins, I was like, that's what I want to look like. And I think I'm the same height as him. And I read online that he was 220 when he played Batman Begins. Okay, and I was like, that was my goal, was like, I want to hit 220.
There you go.
And then I got up to 230 and I was like I'm like, too big. Shit. Like this is not like a good size.
I got you. So now then it became like toning and all that stuff.
And I was like, and then
let's get chiseled like the Batman.
Yeah. But even that, like, you can't. There's no way. Like I used to feel self-conscious about it. Like
of time and energy and dedication towards it.
Yeah. Like when I watch these superhero movies, I used to get like so self-conscious about like how the fuck do they like, but. Yeah. That's not for like
most people,
regular people. That's like you have a team of nutritionists, you have a team of like coaches and doctors, and you have Disney like paying millions of dollars for you to get super jacked
to go and do this. It's
like you would have.
You're having everyone like in your life saying like, oh yeah, this is okay. Like you go and do this because you have to for your job, right?
Yeah.
Like and more normal people can't do that. Like they have other things they got to take care of.
It's like I work out every day, but I also have like an 8 to 9 hour job.
Basically, what we're saying is we would be the Batmans.
We would be super jacked if Disney paid us like millions of dollars.
Damn it! You don't see Disney. You could solve the entire country's unfit problem.
What if Disney just starts paying for everybody to get super jacked?
There we go. Everybody has a personal trainer where they
pushing T on everybody in the country.
Oh yeah, there you go. We could just pump massive amounts of steroids, and the steroid economy can just go through the roof.
Well, that's another thing. We'll talk about this more on the Pain and Gain episode. But The Rock especially no one will ever look like The Rock.
The Rock is a special type of person.
It's impossible to look like The Rock unless you're taking so much shit and you are getting paid millions of dollars.
The Rock looks like he got surgery, done on his muscles, right? They look fake.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like his body.
Yeah, no.
But it is, because he's just an insane human.
Yeah.
But, hey, one day, Joseph, we can dream, all right? They're planning to get us to Mars,
Yeah, I mean...
if they're planning to get us to Mars...
There's going to be something you can just inject in your body and then you just turn into The Rock.
No doubt.
I know people, actually, people work hard and people get into, great shape. But to be, 50 years old and look like The Rock, it's
insane.
It's very impractical. If he is, all natural or all what... He's got to be, in the 0.1% of, the population that,
It's crazy.
So...
I feel
not to discredit his work ethic and how much effort he puts into it, but the average person can't do that.
Exactly. I don't know. And then obviously you always see them doing a bunch of other shit on the side, right? Where it's they have their lives supposedly,
Yeah.
And I haven't looked into The Rock's personally. I don't know what he does, but it is crazy how they manage that, right? I don't know. I'm going to say they have to be using steroids at least some point.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe that's just me being inferior.
Yeah.
One day, Joseph, we'll make it. We'll make it.
Speaking of something, back to this movie that we were talking about, American Hustle.
Oh, no doubt.
It's did you like Amy Adams in the movie? Do you think it was worth the abuse that she went through?
I think so. I mean, especially younger me would have loved Amy Adams in this movie.
Yeah.
She's a redhead. That's I loved redheads back in the day.
She was wearing a lot of
very flowy, open,
big V-necks.
She was
deep V's.
So there were
deep V's.
there were a lot of deep V's in that movie.
Yeah.
And then a whole lot of almost titty shots.
Yeah.
But what did you think about her? Was she all right acting wise and
I did find it a bit frustrating, when she was, because she was sort of making it I might switch sides and I might be with Bradley Cooper. But you also know she's gonna end up with Christian Bale because they're the scammers and and so it was kind of satisfying at the end when it turned out the whole thing was a scam.
Mm-hmm. But when you saw that that was bothering you.
I was like, what are you doing to Christian? He's trying to leave his wife for you. You can't do that to him.
Rest in peace.
And when they were at the club and they were I like that scene when they were at the club.
Oh yeah, and they were dancing a good bit. Was she grinding on him or something?
I don't remember, but I just remember there was a scene where she was with Bradley Cooper at the club, and they went into the bathroom, and then
that's right. Yeah, the almost sex scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they were getting yelled at by everybody in the bathroom, and whatnot. Then they ended up getting chased out, right? Because she was like, "Oh, not here."
Yeah.
If you have any feelings for me at all, or want to take it to the next level, then another time.
Yeah,
something.
She was saying she'll have sex with him once they finish the scam.
That's right.
Or once they finish the job, then she'll have sex with him. But turns out she was scamming him the whole time. She was sex.
No doubt. I didn't understand how he didn't see that, the FBI agent, or did he a little bit? Because at certain points it didn't seem like he saw it coming at all.
Yeah, right? I don't know. He, I think he was just so blinded by his
goal.
He saw he saw his goal in the end zone, and he knew that he was going to catch all these politicians and he was going to get the medal. But then it turns out he didn't, and everything just sort of went back to normal.
Indeed. Oh yeah. I really didn't want them to get caught. I really didn't want them to lose. I didn't want them to lose. I was rooting for them, which is they did that well.
Yeah.
They turned some rough characters into likable ones.
Yeah.
It was good. But I don't know. I feel like most of these people that they turn a movie into about them, where they are scheming and plotting and scamming, that sort of thing, they are going to be kind of likable, because they're clever and they're
especially
they're witty.
Scammers. I think that's a big part of being scam. That's why I never became a scammer, because I'm not charming enough. I can't.
Oh shit!
I can't talk you into. Hey,
they're good at
a sales. Whenever I'm at the mall and I see these salesmen, and they're trying to. I remember I was trying to buy pants. And I was talking to the guy, and I was like, I'm just looking for a pair of pants. He's like, well, I have a great pay. He's like, I'll be right back. He comes back. He's like, so I have this one. It's on the cheaper end. It's like around $400. And then I have this one. This will last you a longer time. It's about $800. And I'm like, dude.
Hey, there you go. Well, you know what we could do, Joseph?
I'm not going to spend either $400 or $800. Like, what the fuck do you think I'm doing?
No thanks. No thanks. You know what we can do, though?
What's that?
We can go out into public and we can make a video about this where we try to desensitize and train ourselves to scam in a legal way, right?
Okay.
So, like, we try to scam people, but we're just acting,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then we say, like, no, sorry, we scammed you. Here's whatever back, you know, or whatnot.
It'll be like a Mr. Beast video where we scam people, but then we give them $1,000.
Exactly, yeah.
There's too many of the... Okay, this is the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll end this episode because we've gone kind of long. But
a little bit.
I always see these, like, there's so many, like, TikTok guys nowadays who are, like, they walk up to people and they're like, do you want $1 or should I give $2 to the next person? And then,
it's got out of hand.
Yeah, or they'll be like, oh, like, can you buy me these cookies? And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. And then they're like, well, if you would have bought the cookies, I would have given you $1,000.
Exactly, yeah. Or a ton of those, a ton of those that popped up. Whether it's a ton of fake stuff, has popped up, and watching the fake stuff, it makes me feel like I'm losing brain cells.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that it's obviously fake.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just loses some of that creativity and it, I don't know, it frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah,
watching it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And then it's like they're trying to make it like, look at me, I'm doing a good deed. But then it's like, you're not. You're lying about it. You're doing two bad deeds. You're lying and you're pretending and you're, bragging about it on social media.
Exactly.
That's what's so fucked up about it.
And then because they're so fake, right? Because it's so blatantly, like, obviously fake, like some of them.
Yeah.
Like they can literally just say, like, oh, it's a joke, But when clearly, like, maybe 80% of the people watching don't think that it's fake, right?
Yeah.
Like most of them are kids. They're watching and they're like, oh, this is real. Like it's funny or whatever.
Whatever. That's the society we live in. This is a society where Christian Bales can scam people into making politicians give them money and whatnot.
It is.
It's a society I want to live in. It's the American hustle society.
No doubt.
Do you recommend the movie, Liam?
I do. You should give it a go.
I also recommend the movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. I feel like movies like this are good for your brain,
It keeps you thinking. You're on your toes.
It does. It keeps that brain in your noggin unscrambled,
And then every once in a while, you get to see Jennifer Lawrence and Amy Adams make out.
There you go. Oh, yeah. She's just like every 20-minute thing.
Yeah.
Christ. Do they actually make out in that movie?
Yeah. You don't remember they made out?
No, shit. Fuck, my brain wasn't on record.
You blinked.
I blinked and I missed it. God damn it. I thought they hated each other. How did that happen?
Jennifer Lawrence, they were like arguing with each other and then Jennifer Lawrence just grabbed her and made out with her.
That seems like that seems like it would happen in that movie.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
No doubt.
Big peace.
Big peace.